Nelson Anito. When I first came across Scientology, I knew instinctively it was a scam when I saw the pictures of L. Ron Hubbard. You know, the silly pictures of him in the captain's hats, the one with the ascot as he looks into the sky, or the one where he poses with the quill feather pen at a desk. I could see it was a silly con without knowing about Xenu or the ton of other nonsense. I hate to question your view of this, but what was your thoughts on these pictures as you entered and grew in your career in the Sea Org? I can't imagine doing all the work you did for years, for pennies an hour, and then standing in front of those portraits, paintings, and sculptures, and yelling, hip hip hooray, to this ridiculous man pretending to be an admiral with his sailor hats and ascots. Yeah, I did that. It's, it's a little sad, but I did do that. I stood and cheered just along with everybody else. But let me clarify a couple things for you, because I grew up in Scientology, right? When I was, 5 years old, when I was 6 years old in Pasadena, my parents were involved with Scientology, and in fact, they started working for the organization at the Pasadena Mission, which is now the Church of Scientology, Pasadena. But at the time, it was a mission. And there were pictures of Hubbard all over the place. I grew up thinking that that was normal and acceptable, that's just how it was. And when I saw this question, I realized that and I'm not the only one, right? People could say the same thing about crosses of Jesus on the wall, or pictures of Buddha, or little statues. These religious icons then symbols that we set up for ourselves, and we grow up with them. If we grow up with them, we think they're normal. We don't question them. Why would we? They've always been around for us. And that's how it was for me with L. Ron Hubbard's portraits. Just like it is, with religious iconography with other people, right? They don't question it. It doesn't even cross their mind that there's something odd or strange or weird about it. There is. And if you think about it, it's a little weird about all of it, As I grew into Scientology and as I started accepting it for myself, I did question why all these pictures of L. Ron Hubbard. I think when I was about 15 or 16, and I thought, it's like somebody asked me about it. And of course, when you're a teenager, you're very self-conscious. And somebody brought it up to me in school, and I was like, ooh, yeah, well, that is first time it ever occurred to me. Maybe this is a little odd, right? And I went into the church, and I was like, why are there all these pictures? Why is there this bust of Hubbard? Why do we do that, And of course, the answer that, was sensible enough for me at the time was, well, we don't worship L. Ron Hubbard. Nobody in Scientology worships the man, but they do revere him. They look up to him. They admire him. And similar to how teenagers or even grown adults will have movie posters or icons and symbols in their houses that remind them of things that they like or admire or want to be more like. And that was how I viewed the pictures and the statues and whatnot of L. Ron Hubbard. So I don't know that it's really that hard to understand or really that unusual or strange. It just gives you the mindset of Scientologists that there's L. Ron Hubbard all over the place, just like it would give you the mindset of, I don't know, teenage girls, that there's pictures of rock stars and movie stars and whatnot all over their bedroom. It's not exactly the same. I know I'm not making an apples and apples comparison there totally, because the purposes are a little different, but the symbolism, the admiration of it, I think, is the same, and that's how that works.